Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jadesola and you'll talk with Jadesola. So today's topic is something that everybody wants, but can you do the work? So contrary to a lot of opinions out there, people assume that with passive income you don't have to do anything. And while this may be true, what a lot of people don't talk about is the fact that passive income is actually something that you generate having made an investment upfront. And this investment can be your time, it can be your money, it can be your expertise, but you have to sow a seed to reap something. If somebody tells you you're not going to do anything and you're going to just be earning a lot of money, it is a lie. A lot of us, again, is we sit down, behind our computers, our phones, we see people living, an amazing life, kind of life that we want to live. And they're telling us they are using their dividend from their stock to travel to Dubai, to travel to Bahamas, to live this very luxurious lifestyle, to buy all these, fantastic cars and things that we want. We love that lifestyle. But then they don't tell you how much they have in their stock or how long they've invested in this stock before they started to earn the kind of amount that can actually get them to go to Dubai, buy a car, go to designer shops and shop. The reality is they did not put $100 inside stocks to yield them investment that is going to carry them to Dubai. And they did not even put that money in today. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? When we're talking about passive income, yes, it's possible for you to earn passive income, but you cannot remove the fact that, there are different factors that would, come to play when it comes to, whether or not you earn the passive income or how much passive income that you're also even able to earn or how long you're even able to earn that passive income for. And these are some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with us today. Some passive incomes and the upfront investment that you have to make in order to generate this in the long run. But don't let anyone deceive you. There is nothing like you're not going to do anything and then it's just going to keep rolling. Right. Now that is out of the way, let's start with the first one. So I'm going to start with the ones that will require you to put in your money and then or an asset, and then I'm going to also now talk about something that is going to maybe allow you to put in your time and then eventually earn passive income from. So the first one we're going to talk about is stocks. And I don't have a lot of stocks myself. I have some of my investment in stocks, but I also know that stocks is a long-term play, and the asset you need to invest in stocks in order to earn a dividend or eventually be able to sell it in future is your money. So how much money do you have now that you can put into either a dividend stock, which means that they would pay you out of the profit of the company that you've invested in at certain intervals within a year, or that you want to invest in a growth stock, which means that it can appreciate in value over the years, and eventually, let's say you bought it at $100 and then it has appreciated to $150, and then you can sell the growth stock later on, and then you make an income of $50. That's how to look at stocks, right? So in as much as you want to spend your dividend in traveling to Dubai, think about it. Depending on the amount of money that you have to invest in stock will also eventually determine how much dividend and passive income you can earn from that. So shares are like you're getting a slice of like a whole pie, right? So the more money you invest, the larger the pie you're going to get at the end of the day. So if you invest $100, someone that has invested $1,000 is clearly going to get more from that. So the people that are using their money to go to Dubai, they did not invest small money, right? And they probably were doing it over a period of time. You can, add to your stocks over a period of time. You don't have to put all the money up front. You can do it incrementally. The market also can be very risky. So sometimes you want to watch where you're investing in, and you can either invest in individual stocks or in index funds. So let's move away from stocks, and then let's move on to the next thing that every billionaire has, and how a lot of them have actually made their wealth. That is real estate. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes, a lot of people, their bank accounts cannot even, buy a block, not to now talk of, buying a whole house. Investing in real estate is one means that you can use to generate passive income. And you can either, invest your money by buying a house and then renting it out, while it's, generating monthly rent for you as a sort of like passive income. Or you can even just buy and keep, and then maybe when the property appreciates, you can resell at a higher price. That's how maybe you can eventually generate more money from that. But if you're like me and your money is not complete, right? There are different options, to also get into real estate. Now, you can either go through like shared ownership options, which is like, different people coming together to, buy a single property. So whatever income is coming from that investment, so let's say you buy a property and then the rental yield is going to be shared amongst all the owners in the same proportion that you have invested in, right? So that's another option. So you may have some money, but it may not be enough to buy a house. You can join with other people, and there are like different schemes to even like get onto like shared ownership properties. Another way you can invest in real estate is by also putting your money in what they call REITs. So it's real estate investment trusts. So these are like companies that maybe they build properties or they buy properties, and then when you invest in them, they are going to give you some sort of return on your investment at the end of every year, or depending on what their sharing timeline is like, right? They're going to give you returns on your investment. So this way you invest your money upfront as well. Now, another way you can earn passive income even in real estate is to maybe rent out a space that you already have. So you're already renting a place, or you're already, you own a property, you're living in there, but you have a spare room. You can rent out that room, and then that can also generate you passive income because you've already made the investment upfront. You're already living in the house. This room that is just idle, you can, basically just put it out there. All you have to do is advertise it and let potential tenants come to get it. Now, there is the, I mentioned earlier about like, oh, you've rented a place. Now, if you're renting a place and then you want to rent out a part of where you have rented, I would always advise that you let your landlord know what you're doing, just in case, something happens and then you don't want to get yourself into trouble. Another way you can even also like get into real estate again is, it's sort of like the REITs that I talked about. Like here in the UK, there's some people that do some sort of crowdfunding for what they call rent to rent, which feeds back to something that I just talked about now. There are people that go and rent some properties, but they let the landlord know that they're not the ones that are going to be living in the property, and they're going to have to rent it out to other people. So that in itself, it saves you some upfront cost in the beginning, and you can also negotiate a better rent with the landlord, and then put it out at a higher rent. You can see all these things, like you're investing like money upfront, you're investing something upfront in order to generate the passive income. Now, let us move to the sweet spot, right? In as much as it is sweet, not a lot of people will put in the work, and this is investing your time to generate passive income. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is to monetize your knowledge. So these days, there's so many people that are creating online courses, and this is a great way that you can use to monetize your knowledge and to create the curriculum. And then also, depending on your mode of delivery for this online course, whether it's audio or video or just presentation, you have to put in the work in terms of spending time to create this course. Once you create the course and then you put it out there, automatically it's going to just be generating income for you as long as people are subscribing and signing up for that course. But in my own opinion, it doesn't just stop there, because you can create, it's like maybe somebody that created an online course for how to use a typewriter, right, back in 1947, for example. If that course is not upgraded to how to type with computers, or how to type with your phone, or how to type with your iPad, in the future, moving with the trends and the new realities of the customers that they are targeting, then that course is not going to eventually continue to generate them that passive income. So in as much as you do the work upfront, there are times that you may need to maybe adjust the module, or maybe based on feedback, just iterate on some things and make the course better. But you can definitely generate a passive income from that. Another thing you can do by investing your time is to, with your expertise, is to, build a personal brand. And this is not very easy. It requires you to really put yourself out there. Either you're putting yourself out there on professional sites like LinkedIn, or you're talking about your expertise on social media and building that personal brand that makes everyone recognize you as the expert in a particular field. Now, what can this do for you, right? Is that eventually you can start to monetize this personal brand and this expertise that you've put yourself out there for. You can be, getting paid for speaking engagements. This is something that you've already done the work upfront. You've put in the time to put stuff out there about yourself to build credibility, and then people can be reaching out to you to say, hey, come speak, at this event, and then we're going to pay you this amount to come and speak. It is a career. It is a form of income. But are you willing to do the work? Another thing you can do is, when you've built your personal brand, the social media presence, the following, that credibility, brands can be reaching out to you to say, hey, come talk about my product on, to your audience, because you built that, and then they will pay you for that. Different options for you to monetize, gifts that you already have. You just have to make sure that you put in the work to package it properly, put it out there, and then start to reap the rewards in the future. Another way you can build a passive income is to create a digital template for something, right? So it could be a digital planner, it could be a digital journal, it could be a digital meal planner. You do the work upfront by designing what this digital planner or journal or whatever, what it's meant to look like. You can use platforms like Canva or whatever, or even pay people to help you build these digital downloadable solutions. And then all you have to do is create a store online and then put it up there for sale, right? You've already done the work just once, and then list it on a platform where it can get visibility, and you're not doing any further work in terms of putting in additional work. Once you put these digital products online, people are just going to be ordering and downloading, and then even in your sleep, you're going to be earning an income. Last but not the least, and people talk about this a lot, I haven't started benefiting from this already, but I know that eventually it's going to happen if I continue to put in the work. Like, create a YouTube channel. See, sometimes when I'm researching like YouTubers and I'm seeing like how much they claim to be making, and one of the things that they're doing, even like apart from the fact that YouTube is paying them for their ads, is the fact that they're also doing one of the things that I mentioned earlier in terms of building a personal brand, an online presence, and expertise for something. That's one of the things that YouTube is going to help you to do. It's going to allow you to showcase your expertise in something. And when you build that audience, you build that following, eventually you can monetize it if you're able to get the number of subscribers or meet the other conditions in terms of like watch hours to get to become a YouTube partner. Like, these are things that you can do in 2022 that can actually start to earn you income eventually, because once you get monetized on YouTube, even content that you created in the past, which goes back to the upfront investment that I was talking about, can even continue to generate you income as long as people are engaging with that content. Now, on that note, I'm going to encourage everyone that has gotten to this stage of the video to say, you know what, start to think about how you can start to generate passive income for yourself, or another stream of income, so to speak. Most millionaires and billionaires out there do not have a single stream of income, and while it can be very overwhelming, we have to be ready to put in the investment upfront in order to reap the reward later in future. So if you have enjoyed this content, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, and I will see you next time. Bye.